Hey traders, this is Cousin Vinny. Hoping you're having a good weekend, as I am. I'm here with you with a quick tutorial on option selection. This is very basic. This won't be covering spreads or anything like that, or any complicated strategies. Just the basic, what I do to enter a momentum option trade. Okay, Johnny is in Whirlpool, and just the last week or two, I heard him get into some 80 strikes, I believe, believing that this upper trend line would be met. Okay, and it very well may be. If you know Bollinger Bands containing 90% of the price action, with this bounce off the lower Bollinger Band, the likelihood is we'll be close up to this area here in the next week or two, probably within the next week, just given the high beta of this stock. Okay, we're oversold. Stochastics is giving us a trigger signal. Relative strength is moving up. Really nice to see. It would be nice to see this move up through the 50 RSI. But that said, there's some other criteria I look at just with looking at the chart. First thing I would do is, if I was interested in entering this on Monday, I would first go to my shorter term charts and look at where we are. Similarly, as Johnny uses his entries with stochastics oversold. In this case, we're overbought. So it's really not a good entry location for me. I would just check the 30 to be certain. Yeah, you can see the 16th was actually a better day to enter. We were really oversold and embedded here on the 10th through the 13th. So anyway, this would be a good entry had it been the 16th. A move from 71.50 up to 74.50. A nice 3-point move. Okay, so that said, we need to start looking at an option. Typically, I know that I want to be either close to the money or in the money. The reason being is I want a decent delta of at least 50 cents. Delta being the commensurate change in option price, this being 50 cents for every dollar move in the stock. So with this move from 71.50 up to 74.50, that was a $3 move, or using a delta of 50 cents, 50 times that $3 move would be $1.50 on top of the option price. The bid and the ask here, the close on Friday. So you could add $1.50 to that, or $4.70. So that's close. That's a 50% move. So that's decent. Okay. All right. So some other things that I look at. I would use a free calculator that you could find at OptionSelection.net. I would check my strategies here. Okay. The current option value, as you saw, was $3.22. Note the difference in the bid and the ask. The fact that it's worth $3.22 at the current close tells me that if I got it in at 305 on Monday, that would be excellent. However, I wouldn't be buying it on Monday because stochastics are overbought on the 30-minute chart. Remember the 30-minute. Okay, because I want my entry to be precise. I want momentum to be changing quickly from selling to buying. Okay, I really want to catch this move right here when I buy the option, because if I buy here, I'll be underwater and already hit my stop before the day is out. So I really want to wait for stochastics to set up just the way Johnny does on the daily chart. Okay, so that covers the chart. Now let's talk about the VIX. The VIX, this is just an inside, a little secret. As option prices are moving lower, the VIX is moving higher. So conversely, keep an eye on the VIX. As you remember back in April, May, as the VIX rose, stock prices went down. Okay, lately, the last couple of weeks, we've seen some nice moves up on the stock, okay, on the S&P. So this would be a good time to enter calls if the stochastics set up for it. Okay, the Bollinger Bands are starting to open up, and this is turning somewhat flat, but there's a possibility this resistance here has been bounced off of and will continue lower. So stochastics are somewhat embedded, so they could be a little bit more weak on the VIX. All right, so keep an eye on that, and maybe the relative strength moving lower, but keep an eye on the prices moving lower for any long call entries, along with the proper stock pattern setup. Okay, so with the criteria we've already talked about, Johnny has 300 shares of Whirlpool currently. With the current price, $74.49, that's a $22,000 investment. Okay, a 1 point move is $300 to him. Okay, so with that in mind, I want a similar move. I would need to buy 6 October 75 calls at either the ask or the bid. If we got it at the bid, that would be even better. Okay, that would be a good entry. That would be my total cost, and for every $1 move, I can expect 50 cents on delta, or using the math, 50 cents times 6 options times $3 times a 100 multiple would be $300 profit. Okay, my risk, I always enter a trade, I know what my risk and reward would be. Okay, my risk would be half of the delta, or 25 cents, times my 6 options times a $100 multiple would be $150. Okay, so for a risk of losing $150, I could risk $150, knowing that I would make 3 times that, or $450. That would be my reward. Okay, but if I were to hit that $150 loss, I would immediately exit my position. Using delta again, for every 1 point move, a $3.22 entry would net me 50 cents, or $3.72, without considering any of the other Greeks, theta, the time decay, vega, and rho, and gamma. Okay, you can look these up. There's a link to each meaning behind each on the calculator itself, so you can look at that. So for a 2 point move, same mathematics would give me a $600 profit. Now remember, on the move on the 16th, we got 3 points. Okay, so for 3 points, that would be $1.50 on top of your option price. So that could be quite a nice move. Now, using your calculator again, the reason why I would use close to the money, if not in the money, is, check this out. Okay, if we use the 80 strike that Johnny was in the other day, you'll notice that delta is 28 cents. Okay, so in order to make the same return, you would need a 2 point move to make that 6 options work for you. Alright, you need a 2-point move in order to make $300 or a 4-point move to make $600. So you can see where delta and buying out of the money would really hurt you. Typically, you don't want to buy out of the money. You want to buy something closer to the strike or the close in the stock. Okay. So I'm sure I didn't cover everything. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of what I look at when I enter an option trade, and I always have a risk and reward 3-to-1. I know ahead of time that I can expect, going back to the daily, that being my stop, 70, I guess around 72. That would be a substantial move down from where we are right now. I'm kind of losing my train of thought, but the point is that I told you before I would be willing to risk 25 cents on this trade, or $150, half of the delta. Okay, so half of the delta would be a 50-cent move on the stock, basically. Alright, so the current price, if this dropped down to $74, that would be my out. Alright, so for a move down to 74, okay, do I think I can get 3 points out of this to make it worth my while? Yes, I do. Okay, currently the daily is oversold, but one more time, I wouldn't enter a trade until I saw this condition right here. We're currently not there. We're overbought, and we're right at the 200 EMA on the resistance on the 30. And I'd be willing to bet, well, 200 EMA is not too far away, but that's what I use, criteria, 30-minute chart. Okay, that's what I use. This is Cousin Vinny. Have a good weekend, what's left of it, and we'll talk to you soon. Remember to take profits. And that's it. Over and out.